Today, children go to school, and all students in the class are taught the materials in the same way. There is limited differentiation or customization to adjust for different learning styles and the individual needs of the student. For some, this method works great, but for others, well, it's not so great. But imagine a world that uses big data to identify students' needs and ideal learning methods. A world where homework and lesson plans can be customized to each individual to meet their learning needs and help students achieve their full potential. Welcome to the world of adaptive learning. Adaptive learning is an educational method which uses computers as interactive teaching devices. Adaptive learning systems endeavor to transform the learner from a passive receptor of information to a collaborator in the educational process. Computers adapt the presentation of educational materials according to students' learning needs, as indicated by their responses to questions and tasks. Using technology and accumulated data, the system provides customized program adjustments based on an individual student's level of demonstrated mastery. The technology encompasses aspects derived from various fields of study, including computer science, education, and even psychology. So, how does it work? A student is taught a concept, perhaps through a teacher, a book, a homework assignment. The student then takes an assessment. Again, this can take a variety of forms, from a quiz to an interactive game. As the child completes the assessment, the system's adaptive learning engine is collecting data. Lots of data. In fact, the engine may collect upwards of 50,000 data points per student per hour. This includes things like, how long did it take the student to answer the question? Did they hesitate while answering? And how did they go about answering the question? For example, if they are asked to build the number 27, did they count by ones, or did they count out 5 sets of 5 and 2 ones? Both are acceptable and produce the correct answer. However, the student counting by 5s is using a more advanced method to get to 27, and may be ready to learn more advanced concepts. The other student may need more practice and reinforcement of concepts to allow them to count in multiples. All these data points help the engine learn the learner as the learner learns. The engine can then use these data, along with data from other students from the past and present, to run an algorithm. An algorithm is a process or set of rules that are used to analyze the data and determine what the student knows, how deep their understanding goes, and the next lesson and method of delivery to reinforce concepts and build proficiency. In some instances, the system can evaluate the student across all their subject areas to identify a problem that may not be immediately obvious. For instance, an issue in math might be linked to reading comprehension, so the system can recommend activities to reinforce reading skills, which leads to better results when completing word problems. The system can identify and link different subjects to get the big picture. Determinations from the adaptive learning engine can feed into individualized homework assignments and classwork, and also can be reported to the teacher, so they are aware of which students understand which concepts and which need reinforcement in which areas. This allows lessons to be more focused on individual needs and helps students master the concepts. So, where does adaptive learning work well and where does it not? Adaptive learning works well on subjects that have correct and incorrect answers. Subjects such as chemistry, math, biology, accounting, finance, and reading. But it doesn't work as well for subjective disciplines, such as those in the arts. Things like poetry, dance, painting, sculpture, and creative writing. Adaptive learning is already in use and seeing positive results in higher education. As adoption continues to increase across all levels of education, data sets will become greater, and the ability to tailor learning to each individual will continue to improve. There are still legal issues to work through, such as who owns the data captured about each student. But as these issues are resolved, mainstream adoption of adaptive learning and the ability to customize learning for each individual is expected to increase significantly.